All right. Good morning, all. I hope you are all doing well. 8:30. So let's go ahead and get started. As you are coming on, I'll be muting you. But if there's any questions along the way, I'll open those up later, and you can unmute yourself and ask any questions that you have. But just wanted to say hello to all of you. It's been a while since we've connected with one another, and we really do miss you here at the school. We are 1 quarter in, so congratulations in meeting that goal, and we got 3 more quarters to go. And it is a different experience with you not being in the classroom, not being in the hallways, and it is definitely a different time for all of us. And this pandemic that we're all facing is something that we all have to work together on. It's very important that we understand what is happening out in our community, and it's affecting all of us, or it has affected all of us in some way. It looks like the tribe will be going into a stricter lockdown of phase 0 indefinitely. And that is because of the rise of cases since Labor Day weekend. And, that's not a good sign, because that means there will be the curfews that are in place that will include the inability to have large social gatherings, and all of these things that are happening that will also affect the school in some way. If we could all work together in our community to try to mitigate, and uh, mitigate means to all help lower the numbers and the spread by following the guidelines and the safe practices. That's going to help us return back to school, and for you all to return back to school in a phased in approach. We were planning for the continuation of all the sports activities starting in 2021. But right now, with the projection of how numbers are, that doesn't look feasible that it will happen. So it's all about all of us as a community working together. And that's the message for today. All of us working together. We are one family. We are one Bruin family. You are a Bruin. And it's about working together with your teachers, with the administration, with parents, working together with the teachers as well and administration, you working along with your parents. And that's very important, because when they tell you to get work done, you need to get work done. If they tell you, I hope you're turning in your assignments, then I hope you are listening to them and following through, because that really is the key to your success. We're in a wonderful opportunity. As much as it's not good to have us be away from one another, it has allowed the school to purchase some really good quality programs that are used nationally, that are award winning. The curriculum, which is the instruction that you're receiving, is really good, rigorous concepts. And you all are having that opportunity to receive these wonderful programs that months ago we could have not imagined incorporating. This will help you later on in your education. It'll help you if you're on the track to go to college. All of these programs are there. You have teachers who are there to support you. They provide tutoring and office hours and even time after, even in the evening, and they've been very flexible with work turning in. But where we're moving now into the start of the 2nd quarter, there are some things that have popped up that you all need to be aware of, some changes that will be made that will be starting next Monday. So it's very important that you listen today to the entire presentation, and you ask questions if you need to ask questions from me or from your teachers. If you have questions, they can clarify some things, but we've been meeting about this now for a good couple of weeks of the direction of how we would go and make some changes that are needed for the second quarter moving forward. But it really is an exciting time, as you are aware, and we're all waking up that uh, things are definitely moving with the presidential election and the other elections that are happening nationwide. And it looks like it's in the direction right now that it's going to be closely contested and then going into the next couple of days. And it's a very interesting dynamic because it's a lot closer than people may have anticipated. And I'm quite sure some people are stressed about it. But it is where we are at as a nation right now. And again, it's about the message of working together. We can pull through this as a nation if we have an understanding of one another, if we have an understanding of what it means to work together, and that sometimes you have to give and sometimes to take. And that's all about how school is like. You have to work with your teachers, you have to work with your parents. And it's how we will get through this pandemic together and on the educational side of things. And it's the message that needs to be moving forward with our country, that there is no right or wrong answer. There's a lot of gray. And how we work together will be how the direction we go. And it may not be what half of the country wants, but it is what needs to happen based on the votes that have been turned in. I read an interesting article that states that only 30% of the voting population is college educated. 30%, imagine that. And we're talking now um, tens of millions of people. And only 30% of the population is college educated. And that doesn't mean that you may go to college path, but the more education you receive, the more knowledge that you have to be informed, to understand the topics that are being discussed out there. And it really is a something that enhances you as a person. And you can have both. You can have your culture and continue to practice our culture, and you can also be prepared to live in this changing world. And that is a very important balance that we all must find. But it is something that will help you. It will help you reach the goals that you have in your life. If you have goals of later on of owning a car or having your own house, those are the keys to getting those is a college education. And to hear that only 30% of our country is college educated. And for Native American populations, that's even less. So that's a general average, and the Native American population is even at a lower percentage. So if you could achieve that, you would be one of the few individuals who could achieve a certain goal that not many have achieved. And that will set the path for you for your success. And even if you don't go the college route, there's the path of the career route. And choosing a career and doing an apprenticeship or a trade school. And that is just as good as getting a college education, because you can get a job once you got that certificate in your hand that you've gone through a rigorous course of study of whatever you want to be. And so that's the message for this morning, is working together and fixing what we need to fix. and it's not going to be an easy process. This first quarter was not easy for some of you. It was difficult. It was maneuvering around something new, trying to balance a variety of classes online. For you seventh graders, this is a new experience for you. This is the first time that you're not in a classroom all day long. You have to go through serious 7 periods of classes with 7 different teachers. You have to maneuver all of that, and it's a little bit easier when you can do it in person, but unfortunately that is just not the case. So it is a trying experience for all of us. Uh, it's a lot of new programs that were introduced, and just like you, that the teachers and myself and other members of the school had to go through training and learning ourselves of how to utilize these programs and how to maneuver around them and how to teach through them. And so learning never stops. Just because we're in a pandemic doesn't mean that learning stops. Learning has to continue. Learning has to move forward. And I encourage you all to put forth your best effort. We've been making a lot of calls home. Our call logs are very big right now and very long. And whether we're calling you or your parents because of an attendance issue or a grade issue or a technology issue, we are making those calls and we're documenting those calls when we call you or when we leave a message. And it's important that you work with us and try to resolve the issues that are happening. So, discussing where we're going with the second quarter, part of that is structure. And we've noticed when we go out into the community during the day that some of you are not doing your work. You're in your communities, maybe walking around, or we hear that you're in town, and that's not going to help you. That's not going to help you achieve your goals that you need to get, and that you're working towards to get that grade that you need to. We are still in a regular school year. This is not a free pass to move on to the next grade. You have to earn your grade to move on to the next grade level. So this is something that you must earn. That is something you must work toward. That is something where you must wake up in the morning, starting with the homeroom check-in to do attendance. It's getting into each class and meeting with your teachers. It is communicating with your teachers of when you need help, to sign up for tutoring time, to make an appointment during the Wednesday office hour time. That's your responsibility to meet us halfway. So this is not a free ride. This is something you have to earn moving forward. So through our evaluation of the first quarter, and it's great to see that grades have improved over these last couple of weeks. And I know a lot of you were cramming the last minute to turn in assignments. That's going to be a change as well going forward. And you won't have that luxury and that flexibility to have the whole quarter to turn in late assignments. So some of those are just some of the changes that we're moving forward with. So let's start with the main change. And I shared this with your parents last week at our open house. And so a lot of this information I'm going to share with you all of the changes that are happening with the junior high. So give me just a second here to share my screen. All right. So this is our upcoming virtual bell schedule for the second quarter. And as you were aware, you were only connecting with your teacher one day out of the week. You had 4 periods on Tuesday and 4 periods on Thursday. Both the junior high and the high school have decided to increase the number of live teaching, or what we call synchronous learning days. So you will see now that there will be 3 days out of the week that you will need to log in for your live teaching synchronous learning classes. So that will be Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And you will meet with every single one of your teachers throughout those 3 days. So you will have on Monday, for example, a first hour, a second hour, a third hour. You'll have that break for lunch for most of you, then fifth hour, sixth hour, seventh hour, and eighth hour. So you will attend all your Zoom sessions on Monday, and the same will happen on Tuesday, on Thursday. Each live Zoom session will be 45 minutes long. So the first hour will start at 8 and end at 8:45. You will have a 15-minute break and start your second hour at 9 o'clock and go to 9:45. And each hour after that will be on the top of the hour with a 15-minute break in between to allow you to stretch, refocus your eyes, because that's a lot of time on the computer, and take a restroom break if you need to. But this will provide us the structure that we need, and also allow you to connect with your teacher 3 days out of the week to get this, to ask for help, and to really get more of the lessons in that we need to get in. Because one of the things that we saw was that it was difficult to get all of our lessons in that we need to get in, because the teachers have a schedule of what they need to teach and when they teach it. And we need to make sure we're getting all the concepts taught that need to be taught to you for that particular course. So Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, starting Monday, that's next Monday on the 9th, you will have live sessions on Monday, and then on Tuesday, and then on Thursday. For morning check-ins, I'm hearing some of you talking, so if you can mute yourself, that's appreciated. On mornings, your first hour teacher will take your attendance. On Wednesday and Friday, you will have to check into your homeroom like you currently are right now between 8 and 8:15 and take attendance on those days. So you still have to check in every day, but the main attendance will be taken first hour for you all, but we will be taking and monitoring attendance for all your live classes. So if we don't see you in those live classes, we'll be making communication with you and your family of that you're missing class time, live learning session time. Wednesday will remain the same. So Wednesday will be an independent learning day. You can meet with your teachers during their designated office hour time and schedule an appointment, or they'll schedule an appointment with you. And in the afternoon will remain for our teachers for their training, as well as meeting and what we call our PLC meetings that will take place.
Yay, good job.
On Friday, there will be an independent learning day as it is right now. So Wednesday and Friday have not changed from what's going on right now. The changes are now you will have to meet with your teachers, all of your teachers on Monday, all of your teachers on Tuesday, and all of your teachers on Thursday. So it will be a full day of learning for you all. All right, so this is our tutoring schedule. And this has been out, this was sent to you on packet, it will remain. And the teachers have been very flexible with their time. So although these are the designated times they have listed for their tutoring days, I know a lot of your teachers have been offering tutoring 4 days out of the week and even into the evening time past the 3:45 to 4:30 designated time. And they've been making themselves available. And we're very thankful for that, to offer that. And they've been very flexible to work with any student that wants to work with their teacher. So this is the designated tutoring time. I talked about the Wednesday office hours, and this is your teacher's office hours for Wednesday. We got our 7th grade teachers and their office hour time, the 8th grade teachers and their office hour time, the elective teachers and their office hour time, and the special education teachers and their office hour time. So that is another way to connect with your teachers to get assistance, to ask questions as needed. So you're now going to have 3 days of time to connect with your teacher. You will have Wednesday in the morning time up through noon to meet with your teachers. Every day you will have tutoring time available from the teachers based on their tutoring schedule. So there are lots of opportunities for you to meet with your teachers. So that is the main change that is going to happen on starting Monday. So starting Monday, you will begin meeting with all of your teachers all day long, all periods. Just as a reminder, Canvas is where everything is housed at. It's what we call our learning management platform. It's where your teachers have their Zoom links for their live sessions. It's where you turn in your assignments. It's where you find what your assignments are. There are recorded sessions that they post as well. So it's important that you really get a feel, and your teachers starting next week will have a reorientation with you all in each of your classes. So that means that they will explain everything all over to you again, how to communicate with them, where to go to find your assignments, how to turn in your assignments. So that will be covered over 1 to 2 days based on what the teachers need to explain to you. Daily attendance is still mandatory. So it's mandatory for everyone that you are to log into your first hour class, designated as your homeroom, between 8 and 8:15, and attendance is done during that time. So you must log in and get that attendance taken care of. You know what live instruction is? That means you're getting onto a live Zoom session with your teacher for a certain amount of time. They may teach the concept, they may allow some independent work time, they may be helping you on various assignments or clarifying assignments. Independent instruction is work on your own, completing those assignments on your own that have been assigned to you in Zoom. As I mentioned, the teachers will be recording their instruction, so it will be important that they record those lessons and that they're available for you to view later. And that's a good thing, because sometimes you need to hear it again, and it's good that you'll be able to rewatch those lessons if you didn't quite get everything the first time. The teacher office hours are there on Wednesdays. And just the definition for PLC and professional development, that's when the teachers and the staff at the school are in their learning mode and learning the various strategies to help you in the classroom. And then, of course, the tutoring, we know what that is. So that is what is the plan moving forward. We hope that you all have a better understanding of what is going to happen. Again, there will be a reorientation in all of your classrooms starting Monday. So we won't quite jump into instruction on Monday. Each of the teachers will go over the finer points that need to happen in their respective rooms. We will start to develop stricter guidelines regarding your attendance. So I'm going to share that now. So these are flow charts that were put together and were presented again last week to your parents during orientation, during an open house. And you will see here that we are really going to focus on attendance, and we will be following the policies that are within the handbook. So it's very important that you read your student parent handbook that was given to you. And we will follow through with this. And your job, as you can see here with the virtual learning, is to check in daily. If you're here and present, there's no issues involved, you're here. You're counted for the day. And that's very important that you are there, because your attendance determines the funding for the school. In other words, how we make school run, from the programs that we purchase to the supplies and materials, to the transportation, to the food, to paying the teacher salaries and having school run. So your attendance is vital. It is very important that you check in. If you are not in attendance, the attendance clerk, Ms. Nutangla, will contact you or your family. There are excused absences as listed in the handbook, so I would recommend you read what an excused absence is. And if it's unexcused, then we start following through, and this will begin to be taken into effect for the second quarter. So once you reach a certain number of unexcused absences, these will happen. So in your fifth unexcused absence, when you get to that fifth unexcused absence in any class, the counselors will contact you and a letter will be sent home. 8 unexcused absences, there'll be a Zoom meeting with you and the behavior committee. And we have a behavior committee that's set up that's focusing on attendance issues. And another letter will be sent home to your family. At 12 unexcused absences, there will be a meeting again with the committee and a possible what we call SCAN, which is suspected child abuse and neglect, because it is your obligation and by law that you attend school. And if you're not attending school, that could be designated as neglect. So this may be something that happens and that will be filed if you are not regularly attending your classes. When you get to 15 unexcused absences, you will possibly lose credit for that class for the quarter, and you won't be able to earn credit for that class. It could also be possible dismissal from the school. So please read your handbook because it's taken right from there. If you are 10 days consecutive unexcused, we have to drop you. So we'll notify you and we'll drop you from the school, and you'll have to be readmitted and reapply to join the school, and there'll be conditions with that. And a letter will also be sent home. So attendance will be strictly enforced and monitored. There will be, as I mentioned, for us, 3 days of live teaching sessions now. So if you're present, and yes, you just participate in the class for that hour that you'll be in it, that 45 minutes, and you'll be earning what we call badges or incentives. And if your attendance is good, we're going to start doing some incentive type gifts to you all. And that could be in the form of some t-shirts or a sweatshirt or long sleeve shirt with the Hopi Bruin logo. It could be a food incentive, such as treats. So that's a variety of different things we're working if you are consistently attending the sessions. If you're present, you're completing those assignments and you're earning those badges. If you are not attending those live sessions, at the second absence, the teacher will call home. At the third missed live session, a letter will be sent from the junior high office to your home, reminding you that you're now at three absences of the live sessions, and it's getting to that danger zone because when you're missing class, you're missing out on instruction. On the fourth absence, we will contact by phone your parents. And on the fifth absence, we will hold a Zoom conference and as well as a final letter going home. And by missing 5 live sessions already, you're really putting yourself in a bad spot to possibly pass. And research shows when you miss class, you're missing out on instruction, the chances of you failing that class are a lot higher. So those will be done. And once we get to that 5th spot, that will be the final warning. And then we'll continue to contact you, but just be prepared that you will possibly be on that track of not passing your class because you're missing too many sessions. When it's independent learning, so that's when you are not connected with your teacher in a live session, you're going to log into Canvas. You're going to complete your designated assignments through the Strong Mind curriculum that's being used, and the other assignments are being implemented into the Canvas program. If you turn the work in, great, you're going to get the grade, and you'll be on track. If you are not turning in your assignments, which some of you were not doing and are still trying to catch up on assignments, this will be the protocol that we will follow. 3 assignments missing, parents are contacted, and the progress report will be sent home. And what we're going to have is a verification form that you're going to have to fill out. And this verification form will require you to log in how much time. You're going to have to keep track yourself of how much time you are spending in your classes, how much you are logged into Canvas, how much time you're working on your assignments. So it will be something you're going to have to document now for the school that you are getting the work done. At 5 assignments missing, letter will be sent to your parents, and that verification form will be required to be completed by the parent. So these verification forms will be completed by your parents to document that you're doing the work. 8 assignments missing, another letter sent home, and a Zoom conference with your parents. And if you continue to miss those assignments, as you know, those earn a 0, and you will be in class.
I didn't want.
They're still counting ballots. Pardon me, I was just muting someone. Students without internet access, as you know, that does happen, and sometimes there are not so good days, but it is pretty amazing that we have not only you all on live, but we have all of our elementary schools as well. So the internet is holding up, and although do we have glitchy days, it is working better than we expected it to. So, but if there's an issue with internet, of course, if you're yes, you participate and get your grade that you need to. If there are issues with internet, again, it goes back to that missing assignment protocol that I just reviewed. And if it's really bad that something cannot be worked out, that's when special exceptions can be made. But those special exceptions will be something that will be on a case by case. And there will still be the requirement to connect with the teachers on these special case by case. We can't just give you work and then there's no communication. That's not allowed under the Bureau of Indian Education guidelines that we must follow. So they're the ones who monitor the school, and they have told us that certain things like packets are not allowed unless you, the student, connect with the teacher throughout the week. So there still has to be that connection with the teacher. And I'll stop there. And just reminder, we are monitoring your chat, and some of you are posting some things that are not so good. We're screen shooting those, and we'll be following up with disciplinary matters. So just letting you know. And there are comments made about teachers not checking assignments, and I can tell you that the teachers are checking their assignments. We talk about that, and they are the ones that are being very flexible with work being turned in, but assignments are being checked and assignment and grades are being inputted in. But if there's questions regarding that, then I'll be happy to speak with you on that and to communicate with the teacher as well of that concern, because that's a general concern that needs to go directly to the teacher, and the teacher needs to know about that if that's your concern. But I can tell you, when I monitor in with what the teachers are doing, they are grading and keeping up with their work. All right, so that's where we're at this point. And I'd like to open up the time for any questions that any of the students may have. This is a session for the students. The parents had their session last week during the virtual open house, but this is for you, students. So if you have any questions, you can type in the chat, but I would prefer if you just unmute yourself, and we will go ahead and answer any questions you have. The schedules should have been the whole year-long schedule that you received. So check the schedule you received. That should have been all your quarters. If not, we can definitely email you those schedules for the second quarter if you need it. Trinidad and the two educational aides can get you those and email it off to you if you don't know what your schedule is going to be for the second quarter. So, but that should have been your whole list of year of classes, and should have been on that schedule that was given to you. But if not, please reach out to our office so that you know what your schedule is starting next Monday. Nothing will really change except for your electives. And that's the only thing that's a rotating change, but most of you will remain in your same hour for like your core classes. Your electives will be there.
Mr. Naha, this is Makwasa. I had a question about the school thing. So when this whole COVID thing goes down, are we gonna be able to go back to school? Yes or no?
When it does go out, then the school has made plans with what we call our phase-in approach. So currently we're in phase 1 because there's executive orders that require us to not have large in-person gatherings. That's the tribal executive order, and that was signed by the chairman and the vice chairman. When we are moved into what's called phase 2, that will allow us as schools to begin moving in what we're working on at Hopi Junior Senior High School as called a blended learning approach. What that means is that you will come to school certain days of the week, and other days you will remain at home and work independently at home. And that's only because we want to make sure that everyone is safe and we have the proper procedures and protocols in place it may be that you're all split into cohorts as well. And what that means is that some of you will be coming on maybe like Monday and Wednesday, and some of you might be coming on Tuesday and Thursday. But we will explain that more once we move into a phase 2, and if the pandemic cases go down, then we will have other presentations to your parents and to you on how that blended learning will work. But yes, that is our goal, that once the tribe moves into their phase 2 plans, that will allow schools to have students come back as well. And again, there's a question regarding the second quarter schedule. Again, if you need your schedule and you don't check your schedule, because it should have had all your classes for the whole year for each quarter. But if you need your second quarter schedule, contact the school and we will make sure that you get a copy of your schedule emailed to you. That'll be the quickest way, because the mail may take a little bit longer for you to get it. I don't know if you'll get it by Monday, but we can definitely email it to you. We can also tell you what it is over the phone as well. There was a question regarding, does the PBL and AVID, do they change? No, they do not. So if you're in a PBL class, that will remain as the scheduled time as is, and AVID as well that will not change. It's only your electives that change. And if you're in 8th grade and in band or beginning guitar, you stay in that class and that will not change. But all the other electives are change each quarter, so you'll have a new elective for the second quarter. Let's see, let me just keep going through these. What happens if my hotspot goes out? So first we'll try to troubleshoot with you, and if it's still out, then it'll be important that you communicate with the junior high office. There's also a number that you can reach if you look on the website to contact our IT support specialists, Mr. Sinigini and Mr. Sakayamtiwa. But if it's a issue with a dead hotspot and it's not working, we are more than happy to exchange that for you. So we can exchange hotspots. We do have plenty of hotspots left. So if that's an issue, please contact the school immediately. Leave a message if you can't reach someone. I mentioned that to your parents, and there's going to be a letter going out with all these schedules. So all these schedules I showed today are going to be mailed home. So the office hour schedule, the tutoring schedule, the new virtual schedule, the definition schedule, those will all be mailed to you in a physical mailing. We're going to start sending those out as early as this afternoon into tomorrow morning. So look out for a letter with all of the things that I just presented to you today. And there are numbers there to reach the IT support specialist. And it also mentions, because we're making so many calls home to students and parents, we are there at the school. It's just that sometimes those calls can last 5 to even 15 minutes of us helping families out. So it's very important that you don't just hang up. It's important that your parent or yourself leave a message of who's calling, a good number to reach you, and what you're calling about. And we promise that we will call you back if it's in any of those areas related to anything that you may have regarding any issues that you may have. So leave a message. We are there, but again, we're on the phones all day long communicating out. I think I answered the question regarding when will we go back to school? And that's when the numbers go down reservation wide. For a while there in August, we were at 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Every day is monitored by the tribe. And then when it hit Labor Day, right after Labor Day, the numbers just shot up to like 3 a day and 1, 5. And the cases right now have definitely risen above the rate that needs to be where it needs to be. So until that goes down, we will not have in-person classes. And it looks like there's going to be a new executive order going out, possibly as early as Thursday. So that's tomorrow. That there will be a tighter lockdown regarding a new executive order that will pretty much not allow us to have in-person classes right now. That's okay if you lost your schedule. Again, call the school email. Very important that, you let us know that whatever you need in terms of your schedule, we can let you know on that. So we'll be prepared for your calls. I'm just reading through some of these. Okay, and that's a tough predicament. One student typed, they have to help their siblings, and I understand that, all of the students reservation wide, including the elementary students, are doing distant learning, and sometimes you're given that task as the older brother or sister to help your younger children, and that's a fine balance. And you need to let your parents know as well that you have responsibilities on your end to keep up your grades and your work, and you have to have that time. And that's something that is just a very difficult thing to kind of answer for myself, because I know we want to take care of our younger siblings, and that's tough. And sometimes your parents tell you to do that, but you also got to remember that it's affecting your schooling and it's affecting your grade. And it's those tough conversations you have to have sometimes with your family. And I understand and I empathize with the situation that maybe some of you are in. And it is having that, if I have other obligations at home, then that's affecting something else, which is your education. And that those are those conversations, and we're happy to, if we need to have a meeting with parents regarding that, we can definitely do that as well. That's an issue with you. But it's making the most, and really the responsibility is on, not necessarily on you. You have your own responsibilities as a student, and that's what you should be focused on. But I understand those circumstances. Communication, conversations with family are very important to have. And I hope each of you has that opportunity to be honest with your family of the things that you need help on, or issues that you are facing, and to get through that together as a family, because you can't just let your education go, because you have to monitor someone, a sibling that's younger than you. So let me know if you need some assistance on that, and let me know if you'd like to talk about it, or if we need to communicate with your family on that. I'll be happy to do so for you. Good question on this one. If we don't do our work, does the school monitor our computer? Yes, we are monitoring your computer and your work. Canvas leaves a technology footprint, what we call a technology footprint. It follows where you go on Canvas, what page you're on, how much time you're spending in your classes. So we can see the effort, and Canvas gives us a report of your participation level as well as your page views. And so we can monitor what you're doing on Canvas, and we can see how much effort you really are putting in. And so we see that some are, for this first quarter, have put in as much as 30 or 40 hours per class, even more than that. And some have only put in 3 hours. Now, what do you think the grade is going to be for those who only put in 3 hours? That's not going to be very good, because you're not getting all the assignments probably done that need to get done. So yes, it is documenting all of that. And we document all of our phone calls that we try and make an attempt, and who we reach. So that is being used as a way to justify why you're getting the grade that you are. So again, it's about meeting the school halfway. We're providing all of these tools available to you all, but it is tracking you. And so I highly encourage that you log on consistently. You should be putting into each class, just like a normal day, that 40 to 50 minutes per day in each room, especially if it's an independent day. You got to balance all the classwork. And that's the hard part, is balancing, organizing yourself. That's why you got a planner. Everyone got a planner if you went through our drive-throughs. So please use your planner to mark down when your assignments are due. There's calendars in each teacher's Zoom that tells you when assignments are due. So again, that's how you'll all be reoriented on starting on Monday from the teachers, so that you know where to look for things, where to find information, where to communicate with your teacher. So make sure that you are definitely on the live Zoom sessions Monday and Tuesday, because for those of you who missed that first week of orientation, it will be very important that you attend next Monday and Tuesday's orientation. Thank you for that question. That was great, because we are definitely monitoring you. There was a question here. Do we just have live sessions on Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays for each class on those days for the entire year? Yes. So that is starting, and that will be for at least until, the distant learning ends. There was Mukwas's question regarding will we eventually come back to school? And that is still a strong possibility that we will have back in person, but it's definitely not looking like it's going to be that way, at least up through the end of the second quarter. So that means the second quarter ends in late January. So it looks like we will continue in this same distant learning format at least through the end of January. We'll look at the blended approach starting the third quarter. But yes, for now, you will have to connect on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays to all of your teachers on those days, all 7 of your classes that you have, and then of course you have your lunch hour. You will have to connect in and with those teachers on those days all the time. So that is the plan moving forward, and that schedule will be in effect starting on Monday and will not change until, of course, the next phase we move into with our reopening. So thank you for that clarification question. Is tomorrow Friday and tomorrow short days? Yes, they are. So we're trying to finish up grading and getting your report cards completed. The teachers are trying to get that done. So yes, there are short days tomorrow. So follow your short day schedule. Okay, technology issues and questions can be asked of our IT support specialists, and that will be going home in the letter that's going to be sent home. Also call the school if you're having technology issues. That will be important to communicate with us if you're having issues with your computer. Somebody watching you through the webcam, only if you have your webcam on. So there's no capability for us on our end to open up any webcam on your computer unless you opened up the webcam yourself. So no one is monitoring you on the computer. So be mindful of that. And I know some of you are using the computers for your own personal use, like logging into other sites that are not school related. And be mindful of that, because there are various viruses and malware that is out there, and you need to be aware of that sometimes these sites will latch on to your computer without you knowing. So be careful of that. But on our end, no, we don't have no capability to see what you're seeing. So like, for example, I see all of these participants on, I can't turn on their camera to see them unless you turn on your camera personally. So something to look into that, of maybe what's going on there for the person who asked that question. There are fees if you break your computer, especially those of you have the newer computers. And if you lose or there's a damaged hotspot, but again, we take this on a case by case. Some things are uncontrollable and we will waive those fees, but other times, it is negligence on your part. So, but those were all agreements that your parents signed if there needs to be replacement of materials or if you lost your items. Using the school funds. Okay, yeah. So there's comments from a student of missing classes and using their like the school phone hotspots to get on their Facebook. So again, that's a violation of the agreement that your parents signed. Be very mindful that what you get on outside of the school time, and if you are caught during the school time, that could be a disciplinary matter because you should be in either independent or your live teaching sessions from the morning time of our normal 8:30 start time to 4:30. In other words, we should not be seeing posts on social media during a weekday. Um, if you do that after your time at the school, I'm sorry, I mean 3:30 would be your time, or 4:30 is the staff work time. If we see that after, just be mindful that that's not how our technology, if you're using the school's technology like the computer or the hotspot phone for that stuff, you could face disciplinary measures on that. So be mindful because there's that agreement. So talk to your parents about the agreement that was signed, because you are not to abuse the technology that the school gave you. There was a question regarding work packets, and again, the Bureau of Indian Education, who oversees all the local schools and all the Native American schools on reservations, they're the ones who are, like, in a sense, our boss, and they oversee the schools. And they have stated to us that packets are not allowed, and only if it's a team decision, and only if the student connects with the teacher. So a packet could happen, but the student would still have to talk with the teacher several times throughout the week. So in other words, there can't be any non-communication between a student and the teachers. You have to communicate with the teachers, and they have to follow up if a packet is decided upon. But it is, again, not allowed under the current guidelines of the Bureau of Indian Education. So we do work on a case by case if we need to, but it is very important that if you as the student did not connect with the teacher, the packets would not be allowed anymore. So there is that communication that needs to happen weekly between you and your teacher. That is very important. There are still questions about, and I know some of you are excited to come back and have in person. And again, we will get that information, and we'll have evening sessions and meetings such as this to let you know how once students are allowed to come back on campus, how that schedule will work. So again, it's a phased-in approach by the school, which we'll do through blended learning. So you may not be at school 5 days out of the week, but you may come 2 days out of the week instead, and then work the rest from home. So again, we'll get that to you. It is being developed, but right now we just are moving forward with continuing with phase 1, and that will be the case at least through the halfway point of the year, which will be in late January. Question on, if and thank you for being honest about this. If someone slacks off and doesn't complete the work, yeah, you sometimes, it is each individual's choice, and education is a two-way street. The school will provide the instruction, and in our case, we're providing the technology and the programs. But you as students have your job to get up in the morning, log into your classes, complete your assignments. And if assignments are not completed, then, there's a possibility that you may fail the course. And I'm thank you, all of you, for being honest for that, because sometimes, some people will say it's the school's fault, but oftentimes, and we really do have to be honest with ourselves, is, are you getting up in the morning? Are you doing your classes like you're supposed to be doing? And yeah, there is some slacking, and that's fine. We all, have those times when we don't really want to do work. But then that might mean then I have to put in the work in the evening or in the weekend. And those are the things that have to be done in order to get my work done. And the same as you as students, you're going to have to find that time to get that work done and turned in. We are going to present, your teachers are going to present next Monday some stricter guidelines regarding late work. We're not going to allow late work to go all the way till the end of the quarter. There will be a certain time period when certain work has to be turned in, and then no late work will be accepted. And that will happen several times throughout the quarter. And so we're developing that. We're going to actually finalize that this afternoon in a meeting with the teachers that I have with the teachers. And those will be given to you regarding the guidelines for work being turned in. So it's going to get a lot more stricter of getting the work in at certain periods of the time, because we can't do that to our teachers. If you all turned in late work in the last week of the quarter, that's hundreds of assignments your teacher has to grade. And that is not good. That they won't be able to do it. So that's why work was due, for this quarter at a certain time period, and that will happen with each quarter going forward. So at certain points in the quarter, late work will not be accepted anymore. Only under really special circumstances will that be allowed. Well, packets, as I mentioned, again, there's still the questions regarding packets. Packets are not allowed. And I know there's one elementary school that is working on packets because they did not receive the technology that was needed for their distant learning. It's still, as you know, when this pandemic rolled around, all schools started ordering lots and lots of computers. Even Hopi Junior Senior High School hasn't received all of our computer orders yet, but we do have enough. And some of our orders that we made way back in March and April have come in. So we do have computers in stock if needed. But I know the local elementary schools did not get all of their computers in and started going with the packet route. But again, it is not allowed by the Bureau of Indian Education. So there are strict guidelines that these schools are having to follow for packets. Okay, so it is not allowed, and you would still have to meet with the teacher, because if you don't meet with the teacher, then we will not allow the packets to continue. Okay, someone mentioned that when they do their assignments on Canvas, the screen turns black. What can they do? Again, call the office, call the IT support specialist, Mr. Sinajini and Mr. Sakayampiwa, and get that help, that technical assistance of what's going on with your computer. Do we have to turn our faces on during class? That's a good debate question, because I know sometimes we don't want to share our living conditions, and that's understandable. I think most of the teachers don't require that. They might just say, "Can you show your face real fast to show that you're here?" And one of the things that also they may do during the class time is to have you answer or check in, just to make sure that you're still on the call, because some people, and we know all the tricks. I mean, we've gone through this ourselves in our lives. You get on and then you walk away from the computer, and then there's no one answering when we call on you. And that could be a violation. That could be a school violation in a disciplinary matter. If you're just logging in and then you're walking away from your computer, but they're in a sense showing that you're on, but you're not really on. So these are things that we will follow up with you. If those are some of the tricks that you guys are doing, we're familiar with them. And we know what's going on. So no, I'm hearing from some teachers it's not required. From some teachers it is. And if you have a concern about that, just reach out to your teacher. Don't hesitate. Don't be scared to. If you have a concern about showing your face, but there may be times where we just need to see you real fast to know that you're there. But I will work with that as well with the teachers on that. And I understand You know, not everyone's living conditions are ideal. Sometimes you have a whole family home. That's understandable, and we will work with you on that. Someone said, if I'm using my own laptop, do you track what's going on in your personal laptop? No, we do not, except for the programs that you're using. So when you're on the programs and you're logged in, we can see what you're doing, and that leaves the footprint where you're at. But in terms of like the sites you're getting on, if you're using your own personal computer or phone, no, we cannot track that. Wow, those were some great questions. I think I got to most of them. Hopefully I did. They were coming in pretty fast. Um, so there's a lot of that discussion about packets. And like I said, that's a case by case. It has to be a team decision. That means the junior high teachers have to all agree on that. And again, you can't just take a packet and not communicate with us. It's not allowed. And we won't allow that. It's not allowed for us. We will get in trouble by the Bureau of Indian Education if we do that and you are not connecting in Zoom calls or phone calls with your teacher. So it's a very delicate process that we have to abide by the rules. So just like you have rules, our school has rules that we have to follow as well. And we're monitored on that as well. So we're happy to accommodate with what's needed. But again, that's got to be a team decision that we probably have to have a meeting on. You'll have to be in that meeting with your family, and we'll have to decide if that's the best move going forward. But we're happy to entertain that if that's a request. But again, formally setting up that request with the junior high office will be important so we can have that meeting. Camera glitches, yep, they happen. We understand that. Camera issues happen. So that's totally understandable. Relay that message to your teacher that you are having camera issues for the day. Nothing wrong with that. We all understand, and all your teachers are flexible with the camera issues that happen with all of us, and including even just the Zoom times. Sometimes you can't connect into that morning for morning attendance. Please contact Ms. Nuttingla that you had internet issues getting on. Communication is very important, that you make calls when you weren't able to log in or get check in the morning. So again, it's a two-way street. You can't just assume we know what's going on. You have to communicate with the school to the proper people. So attendance goes to Ms. Nuttingla. Any junior high questions can go to if in your classes, go to your teachers. General junior high questions will go to our office, to Trinette, Respondent Tiwa. IT questions, like technology questions, would go to our IT support specialist, but you can also relay the message to our junior high office, and we'll let the IT department know to help you or to contact you. Yes, there are early release times this week, starting tomorrow on Thursday and Friday, for teachers to finalize their report cards. So there'll be that abbreviated schedule tomorrow for the live sessions. All right, so that's been an hour. We've been connected together, and thank you for those questions. And I'm really happy about that. I'm really glad that you are all being proactive in your education, and you're asking the questions that you need to. And I want to remind you all, do not hesitate to reach out to us. We're happy to answer any questions for you. We're happy to try to guide you with any troubleshooting that you have regarding your classes. Your teachers are willing to help you. We talk about you all in our meetings of really just what we can do to continue to support you. I've worked with this staff for several years now, and we go way back there. Some of the teachers were my child's teachers, and I know the good work they do, and I know the dedication they have. And sometimes they're strict. I was a strict teacher. You ask around, I was a very strict teacher. And those are the best ones, because they're the ones that are really making sure that you're held accountable and doing what you need to succeed, right? And that's important to remember, that the ones who are the most, caring are the ones who are sometimes the hardest and the most honest with you. And so that's always what I've been. And those of you who are the 8th graders know I'm always very honest in my presentations to you in our assemblies that we had. And I miss those assemblies. And it's important that you know the realities of some of the situations when you're not logging in, or when your grades are going down, or you're not turning in your assignments. And we'll always try to reach out to you and let you know. So please try to meet the school halfway and communicate with us. That's very important. Advocate for yourself. I know it's hard to get on the phone or do an email. We're not going to penalize you, and we're not going to hurt you because of that. We're here to help you. We're here to work with you. So just remember that. We care about you very much. We miss you. You are our family. You're our community. You're our future. I'm depending on you guys when I'm old and I'm retired, that you're going to take care of me and my generation, because you're going to be the next leaders. And that's what's going on right now in the nation, trying to find out who our leaders will be. And you're growing up in an interesting time, because you're going to need to be strong people for us. You're going to have to be strong for us, because it looks like your generation will be the one that leads us to a new endeavor that's happening in this nation, how we're going to get over these disagreements and working together. And you're going to be the ones that handle that for us. And we will continue to work for you and fight for you and do everything we can for you to make sure that you are set up for a good future for yourself. Everyone, take care of yourself. Be well. Please follow the pandemic guidelines. Wear your mask in public. No more than 10 people at a gathering. Make sure you wash your hands. Do all of those things to stay safe. I look forward to seeing you all again soon in person. And just thank you. Thank you for getting this far. And continue to try your best, please. We're going to try our best for you. You continue to try your best. Get up in the morning, get in those habits. And we'll be back together soon. And we'll see you all soon, and you'll be able to see your friends in person soon. We'll be able to do sports soon. We'll be able to do all the activities that we did before soon. And this is why we go into the profession of education, and why I've been in education for over 20 years, and over 20 of those were as a teacher. It's just a wonderful experience, and every year is new and different. And this is probably the most different year I've ever experienced, but I just look forward to the time that we can meet again. So all of you, take care. We'll see you around. Ask those questions, give us a call, and we will talk to you soon. There'll be a mailing going out again this afternoon or early tomorrow morning. So check your boxes for that mailing that will have the schedules and the information and a cover letter from me that explained a lot of the same things we talked about today at this meeting. Thank you all for sticking along for an hour of this session. It went a lot longer than I was anticipating, but be good, all right? And we will catch you soon.
Can we leave
Sean.
now? Oh,
Later.
Later.
Sean, how's the wife?
Well, my wife's doing great.
Later.
My wife's teaching right now. I don't know if you heard her yelling up there, but she's teaching her second grade group, and they're all excited. So that's kind of cool. She's teaching second graders, and they're talking about the election today and everything. So my wife's doing good. All of you take care.
Thank
Bye.
you, Mr. Naha.
Have a good
Later. Later, Manila.
Later.
Thank you, Mr. Naha.
Bye.
Bye.
Later, and all the teachers. If you can hear me.
Yeah, we love you, teachers.
Later.
Bye, Wamiko.
Later.
Bye, Mr. Naha.
Bye. Okay, guys, I'm ending this meeting now. Thank you.